of the rubber that's down. So Barrichello's the first man to experience a track that's been quite heavily used. You also saw leaves around. It's just moving into autumn here, of course, and therefore the track could be a little bit slippery. Also, Ferrari had to move on to a harder of their two compound Bridgestone tyres. The decision has to be made on a Friday evening now, and we're told that they don't really come in until the second lap. But even so, the pace of this Ferrari in the hands of both Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello has been such that even with those problems, they've still got a great chance of occupying the front row of the grid this afternoon. But remember, this first run that they do only sets the running order for the qualifying two, and then the grid is set at that time.
Yeah, those of you who followed their Formula 1 with us last year on ITV will know that Friday's qualifying session was the one that set the order. What effectively has happened this year is they've pushed the Friday and the Saturday sessions together, so all the cars will run, and at the end of it, the slowest man from the first session, 2 minutes after the end of this session, will go out for his second run that will decide the grid order, and the fastest man of the first session will go out last. Rubens Barrichello then into turn one in the Ferrari. A little bit of steering input as he shoots off down. Look at those leaves that Martin was talking about, and you do see them accumulating in the radiators of the cars. The great big vacuum devices being used by the teams to get them out, because obviously leaves will cause the temperatures to go through the roof if they block the radiators.
Yes, indeed. Not a problem, of course, during these short runs, but in the Grand Prix it does become an issue. Now, Michael Schumacher did a 1:25.1, barring a few coppers, and that's the time to aim for, I think, in these sessions. Maybe they had to squeeze a little bit more fuel in, because of course they will have to start the race with whatever fuel level they're running in qualifying two, and you wonder, will the teams all opt to go super light for this to get a better running order? The faster you are, the later you run in the next session, or will they try and carry some fuel and just set the carb and let the driver be aware of where he needs to brake?
Well, there certainly was a strong feeling in the paddock, the people I talked to, that it would be ideal really to go out and have two more or less identical laps, similar amounts of fuel. This, in other words, is like a dress rehearsal for your proper qualifying lap, which will come up in the second part of the session. Here's Rubens Barrichello then coming out of turn 16 here at Albert Park, down the long straight, 175, 180 miles an hour as he crosses the start-finish line for a 1:25.992. That's just under a second slower than Michael Schumacher's fastest this morning, and 0.3 slower than